What is the saddest thing you've seen a homeless person do? I witnessed an old man at the library, bent over a kid's storybook with tears rolling down his cheeks. A librarian quietly told me he shows up every single Tuesday clutching that same tattered book, sitting in that same secluded corner. That book was his granddaughter's most treasured one before she died. After her death, the overwhelming sorrow cost him his house, his loved ones, and everything he once had. Yet each week he makes his way back to those worn pages, the only place where the sound of her joy remains alive.
When did you realize your friend was secretly competing with you? Mine constantly made remarks about how effortless my career was whenever we were around strangers. During her birthday celebration, she pulled the same stunt right in front of the guy she liked. So as my present, I handed her an elegantly framed picture montage of our friendship. Carefully selected shots where she appeared unflattering while I looked absolutely stunning. Everyone fell completely quiet as she opened it with all eyes watching. What is the saddest breakup story you've ever witnessed? I was holding my best friend's phone at the jewelry store while she collected her engagement ring. Later that evening, as Lasagna sat on the counter and 2 wine glasses waited on the table, he told her he couldn't go through with the marriage. His reason was never wanting children. She reached across and handed him an envelope. Inside was a letter from her doctor. She was physically unable to have children. She said softly, "I chose you over having kids." He left regardless, leaving the ring behind in a dish near the entrance. What is the creepiest coincidence that still gives you chills? I encountered my boyfriend during a turbulent flight. We connected through our mutual knowledge of an uncommon lullaby, Daisy Bell, both humming an identical incorrect note. Months afterward, while unpacking, we discovered our infant hospital wristbands tucked in an old shoebox. Identical hospital, identical birth date, identical nurse's distinctive little star sketch in the margin. Our mothers never crossed paths, yet we were cradle-side companions during a power outage, soothed by a nurse singing that very melody. You can't tell me that isn't spine-tingling. What is the most insulting job interview you've had? I stepped into an interview at this tech startup, and the CEO was glued to his phone the whole time. He looked up with a smirk and told me, "We're looking for someone capable of managing real stress, not just planning office celebrations." I kept my composure and answered politely, "How fascinating, since I am not actually job hunting, I am here on behalf of the VC firm evaluating your company for potential acquisition." This visit was meant to assess your workplace environment. The color drained from his face the moment he understood he'd just bombed the single most critical interview of his career. Nurses, what is the saddest patient moment that still haunts you? I cared for an older woman with dementia who would ask me daily whether her daughter had phoned. Each time I would tell her no, and she would acknowledge it, saying she'd keep waiting. This went on for several weeks. During her last hours, she gave me a faint smile and said she reached out at last, yet no call had come through. I discovered later that her daughter had passed away 2 decades earlier. Each new day, her memory would erase itself, forcing her to relive locked in an eternal cycle of waiting. When did enforcing a boundary shock everyone, including you, at my sister's birthday celebration? Her spouse approached like usual and said, "I am watching the children." I looked at him and replied no. My sister's complexion turned red, tears flowing as she said I'd always agreed before. My mother appeared stunned. Then my aunt rose and began slow clapping. She revealed I'd been their unpaid babysitter for 6 years during their beach trips. My father apologized to me. Now we maintain a shared family schedule. When did your parents stop being your hero and why? I was 14 when my mother passed away. Dad became my anchor, my champion. Half a year afterward, he began seeing Linda. I crashed my car and phoned him from the emergency room, scared and by myself. He told me he couldn't make it because of Linda's birthday celebration. I remained there for 4 hours with a fractured arm, hoping a nurse would contact my aunt. That evening, my champion transformed into simply a guy who picked a woman he'd just met over his child's suffering. What is the most heartbreaking thing you found in your partner's phone? Following our bitter split over what he called his fear of commitment, I took his phone to erase every picture of us before walking out permanently. That is when I stumbled upon a secret album named Our Future. It contained saved images of potential wedding locations, a meticulous budget spreadsheet labeled engagement ring savings, $47 weekly, and a scribbled reminder reading "Pop the question before Christmas." Our relationship ended in September because I believed he'd never propose. He was only 3 months from planning to ask. When did you realize your friend was hiding their depression? For me, it was when Sarah skipped our coffee meetup. I visited her apartment, door open, everything perfectly clean as usual. Then I spotted her phone showing an unfinished text. "I can't fake it anymore. Please help me." She'd been writing and erasing it for 3 straight days. I waited silently. When she returned, she fell into my arms weeping. She'd been everyone's support system while secretly falling apart.